Hey, I'm Bishop Joseph, and you are who you are. It's a joy. It's always a joy to talk about the things of God with the people of God. And often when others are listening in who are not necessarily the people of God, we're hoping that they get encouraged and a spark will go off in them and say, this is what I've been looking for. We've been talking about Ruth, and one of my favorite books is entitled Ruth, the Romance of Redemption. And the story is a picture of Ruth as a unbelieving pagan who comes into the family of God. And it's a great story because it embraces so many theological truths that are very, very real to us today. So ultimately, the story isn't just about a woman and a man. It's about our relationship with Christ, who is our Redeemer, who is our Kinsman Redeemer. And that's, if you're interested in that, you can Google that phrase or ask your pastor, what does it mean to be a Kinsman Redeemer? But the thing I love about this story, as we're coming to the close of this analogy, especially as it relates to favor, it's understanding how favor works on your behalf when you recognize that moment. You've heard the expression, seize the moment. And you've often known that there are times in your life when you made a decision and you found out that that was the extremely right decision to be made. It was a gut reaction. It was an instinctive reaction. And as we say, I just felt in my gut it was right. I felt in my heart it was right. I had this sense that it was right. And what we need to know is that the God of the universe, who is our Father, our King, the Son of God, the Trinity, the Triune God, He is such a passionate, loving, gracious, merciful person. And many times our posture as we look at Him, it's as though if I stand on my head and I put my hand behind my back and I keep one eye closed, and you can add all of the other things to it, I can please God. But God knows that we can't please Him by behavior because we're incapable of that kind. And so what we have received from Him is something that we recognize that He offered. We felt like it. It's what I said earlier on, that when Ruth said to her mother-in-law, I am going to go and work for somebody in whose sight I have found favor. Now, here's the thing. She's already found favor in the sight of her mother-in-law, who allowed her to come with her. She's found favor, and she comes into the city. She finds favor with Boaz. And so many things begin to take place in her life that are simply the result of recognizing the moment that she's in. And when you see moments that are so real to you and they indicate there's something going on here, I need you to know that it's in that moment of favor and grace that God says, you've got my permission to say yes and walk into it and embrace what He has for you. I want to take us somewhere. I want to let this story of Ruth lead us into a further conversation about what it means when God can take rejected things and embrace them to the moment that He rejects them. From that moment He rejects them, that they become not only rejected things, but accepted things and blessed things that begin to change the lives of other people. Stay with us this week because it's going to be a great journey, and we're going to touch on some things that are very contemporaneous in our world right now. But it's here, it's in the Word, and we're going to deal with it. God bless you. I'm Bishop Joseph, and I am trusting that you